Central banks have a duty to support the development of a financial system fit for the future. The question is how. In my view, there are two distinct but complementary approaches: small steps and giant leaps. By small steps, I mean tweaks and improvements to existing financial systems and infrastructures. This approach has its place. It can deliver quick wins, timely improvements in the quality and efficiency of financial services that come at relatively little cost. It is comparatively low risk, an important consideration when dealing with critical infrastructure. And it can help allay concerns that financial innovation could disadvantage smaller financial institutions and less technologically sophisticated consumers. But incremental change also has its limitations. The need to look backwards to ensure compatibility with legacy systems constrains what new ones can deliver. As the layers build, the constraints become more binding, eventually holding back innovative developments. This is why I believe that sometimes we need giant leaps that deliver a fundamental rethink of the financial system and foster the development of entirely new architectures. Let me give you a concrete example of a giant leap. Tokenization is, in my view, a technology with transformative potential for the financial system. Tokenized digital assets contain both the information necessary to uniquely identify assets and their owners, as well as the rules and logic governing their use. When correctly used, tokens could increase the speed, lower the cost, and heighten the efficiency of financial transactions. Note my qualifier, correctly used. It is important. By themselves, tokenized assets could improve the financial system only incrementally. If tokens were to trade through existing financial pipes, they would have to rely on the same long and complex sequences of messages passed back and forth between financial institutions. And these complex sentences are the cause of many costs and delays in today's financial system. To unleash the promise of tokenization, i.e. to deliver a giant leap, we need to bring the different kinds of tokens together. Commercial bank money, central bank money, tokens on different assets. Unified ledgers are the platforms where this can happen. Once these different tokens are brought together in the same programmable platforms, new functionalities can be deployed, like smart contracts and composability. With them, sequences of transactions could be automated and seamlessly integrated. This would eliminate the need for manual interventions and redundant compliance controls, two issues that significantly delay transactions along the chain of a cross-border payment. It would also enable simultaneous instant payments and immediate and simultaneous settlement across a whole range of assets. Tokens could, in principle, contain any financial asset, but tokenized money is a core requirement. As Yuval Noah Harari, whom you will have the pleasure to listen to in this conference, said, "Money is the most universal and most efficient system of mutual trust ever devised." The unified ledger system would build on the trust of the two-tier system of today's financial system. All transactions are carried in commercial bank money, but their final settlement happens in central bank money. And even greater leaps are possible. In a recent paper, Nandan Nilekani and I laid out a vision of how multiple financial ecosystems can interact with each other to form the future financial system. which we have labeled Finternet. The Finternet would empower individuals and businesses by placing them at the center of their financial lives. Unified ledgers connected to each other through application programming interfaces play a central role in this vision. They would be accompanied by a rich canopy of associated financial applications and services, delivering more choice and lower costs to users.
And this will be my first point. In addition to the question of when is the right time, this raises a more specific challenge for us: how to overcome the apparent contradiction, oxymoron, between innovation and stability. I will, in a second point, focus on a new high priority area, artificial intelligence, already alluded to by Agustin. So, about the oxymoron. Central banks and supervisors are directly interested in innovation. And it's not only to keep pace with their private partners, but also to channel innovation, including private innovation, towards the common good. Taking advantage of new technologies involves 3A, active monitoring to identify worthwhile innovation, analysis to detect the potential risk and vulnerabilities, and yes, anticipation of future threats. Let me take the example of quantum computing. The technology may not be mature yet, but we have to prepare now for the consequences it will have on cryptographic methods. This is why last June, the Banque de France launched and successfully conducted an experiment with a private partner to develop post-quantum algorithms. Coming back to the oxymoron, innovation means movement, change, and ultimately a certain degree of risk-taking. Central bank's mission, on the other side, is about monetary and financial stability. Winston Churchill once said, "Without tradition, art is a flock of sheep without a shepherd. But without innovation, art is a corpse." This is admittedly a strong way of putting it, but I believe there is a large part of truth in this. Innovation without stability will lack trust, and stability without innovation would result in stasis. And historically, central banks have not been only followers or adopters, but themselves innovators. For the greater public good, think of the Eurosystem infrastructures in payment. Let me focus on money. Money, which is our core business and which is and will remain a public-private partnership that has to evolve. The way we make central bank money available has to be geared to the 21st century to ensure that central banks maintains its fundamental role. And let me stress that this role is not to be the dominant means of payment, but to be a stability anchor for the financial system. This is why I believe that sooner or later we will need a CBDC, central bank digital currency, for wholesale as well as for retail purposes. As you know, we are preparing accordingly at the ECB and the Banque de France, and commercial banks need not to be fearful. But let me broaden the view about the future of payments and follow what Agustin said some minutes ago. The landscape of payments is evolving rapidly with numerous new elements. Let me take an image. Some of these elements are solid, almost set in stone, like the G20 objectives on improving cross-border payments or regulating cryptos. Other elements are more liquid, albeit very promising. We don't know completely yet. the interconnection of successful fast payment systems like UPI in India, PIX in Brazil, and possibly TIPS in Europe. The tokenization of assets. And let me insist there that European banks shouldn't lag behind in the domain of tokenizing deposits.